How Discord Stole Hearth's Warming Eve. Every pony in Ponyville liked Hearth's Warming a lot, but the spirit of chaos and disharmony, Discord, did not. Discord hated Hearth's Warming the whole joyous season. Now please don't ask me why. No pony quite knows the reason. Perhaps the cold weather made him feel all that spite. Perhaps his animal parts weren't all attached quite right. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or the weather, he stood there in the snow, feeling no pleasure, staring down from his perch with an ominous frown at the warm, lighted windows below in the town, for he knew every pony in Ponyville below would be wrapping their presents and playing in the snow. And they're hanging decorations, Discord snarled with a sneer. It's Hearth's Warming Eve. The season's practically here. Then he growled to himself and continued his shunning. I must find some way to keep Hearth's Warming from coming. But tomorrow I know every filly and colt will awaken bright and early, and to their presents they'll bolt. They'll unwrap all those gifts. They'll unwrap every toy, and then the joy. Oh, the joy, joy, joy. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's the joy, joy, joy. For Twilight, some books and a set of new quills. For Pinkie Pie, a new party cannon with which to have thrills. For Scootaloo, a new scooter. For Apple Bloom, a new bow. For Rarity, new needles and fabric to sew. Then the ponies, young and old, will sit down to a feast. And they'll feast, and they'll feast, and they'll feast, feast, feast. Apple dumplings, carrot cake, I can't stand that in the least. They'll feast it all away, every single last piece. And then they'll do something that makes me gag and revolt. All the ponies in Ponyville, every filly and colt, they'll drop what they're doing and stand in a throng. They'll stand close together and randomly burst into song. And they'll sing, and they'll sing, and they'll sing, sing, sing. And the more Discord thought of this Ponyville song, the more the Draconequus thought, this is all wrong. What happened to Equestria while I was a statue? Where's the mayhem, the disorder, the chaos, I ask you? I put up with this nonsense for far too long now. I must stop this harmonious season. But how? Then he got an idea. An awful idea. Discord got a chaotic, destructive idea. I know just what I'll do, the great trickster said. If those ponies won't have chaos, then I'll make some instead. And with a snap of his fingers, he made a quick change, and in an instant, his form shifted into something less strange. Discord laughed with great pleasure. What fun this will be. Why, with this new form, I look just like a pony. And he conjured up a sleigh and some old empty sacks that he tied himself in and quickly made tracks. With a mighty step forward, the sleigh started down toward the homes where the ponies lay a snooze in their town. All their windows were dark. Quiet snow filled the scene. When he came to a house with a fashionable theme. Carousel Boutique, Discord hissed eagerly. I suppose a good place to start with is Rarity. And he climbed through the roof, a few sacks in tow, and he slithered down the chimney to the house below. He got stuck only once for a minute or two, but then he remembered he could just teleport through. There were little pony dresses on their stands in a row. These dresses, Discord said, are the first things to go. Then he grinned evilly It was a sight most unpleasant, and he stalked about the room, taking every present: candy and horseshoes, roller skates, trains, checkerboard, saddles, popcorn, and toy planes. He took every gift, every single direction, all the ribbons and trimmings from every location. He stuffed them in sacks and then, very nimbly, stuffed them all one by one, straight up the chimney. Then he slunk back to the kitchen. He took the pony's feast. He took all the baked goods. He even took their cooking grease. He stuffed it all up the chimney with glee. "And now," Discord said, "I will stuff up their tree." But as Discord took the tree and started to shove, he heard a soft sound, like the coo of a dove. He turned around so fast that he nearly fell. Standing there in the hall was the pony Sweetie Belle. The filly stared, confused by the sight she was viewing.
"Excuse me,"
she said.
"What are you doing?"
But you know, that old Discord was so smart and so sly, he cast a quick spell and fed her a lie. "Why, nothing, my dear," Discord simply said. "There's no pony here. You should go back to bed." And his spell fooled the filly, and she quickly fell asleep. For the rest of the night, she wouldn't make a peep. And when Sweetie Belle's hypnotized eyes finally shut, Discord went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On the walls he left nothing, just hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food Discord left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other ponies' houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other ponies' mouses. It was 1:45, all the ponies still abed, all of them a snooze, when he packed up his sled, packed it up with their presents, their ribbons, their wrappings, all the tags, all the tinsel, all the trimmings and trappings. 1,000 feet up to the side of the cliff, Discord rode through the night to dump every gift. "They're in for a surprise," he was cheerily humming. "Those ponies will see that Hearthwarming's not coming. They're waking up now. I simply can't wait. All those looks on their faces when they realize too late. They'll be sad for a bit. It'll be such a shame. Then, very soon, they'll all start to blame. They'll accuse, become angry. They'll shout and throw fits. They'll argue and scream all over their lost bits. And when the chaos is more than any can hear, every pony in Ponyville will cry out in despair." "That's a noise," Discord said, "that I simply must hear." He paused for a moment and put a hoof to his ear, and he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, and then started to grow. But this sound wasn't mad. This sound sounded merry. It couldn't be true, but it was merry. Oh, so very! Discord stared down and popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every pony in Ponyville, from Rainbow Dash to the Mare, was singing, seemingly without any care. He hadn't stopped Hearthwarming from coming. It came. Somehow or another, it came just the same. And Discord, with his hooves ice cold in the snow, just stood there dumbfounded. How could this be so? They should all be panicking, screaming, and hating, loathing, despising, shouting, berating. He puzzled and puzzled until his puzzler was sore. Then Discord thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Hearthwarming, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe, just maybe, it's about something more. And what happened then? Well, in Ponyville they say that Discord's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back their toys, all the food for their feast, every tree, every wreath. And last but not least, Discord, who had once brought terror to Equestria, wrote a letter that began, "Dear Princess Celestia, welcome heartswarming, bring all your cheer. Cheer to every pony, far and near. For this is a day to feel most ecstatic, and to remember truly that friendship is magic."